Let us meet the starters for both squads.
First for Phoenix Super LPG. A 6-foot guard from San Mateo Isabela, number 4, Chris Banquero. A 6'3 guard from Ramos Tarlac, number 7, Matthew Wright. A 6'5 center from Bacolod City, number 18, Justin Chua. A 6'4 forward from Bolino, Pangasinan, number 3, Jason Perkins. And a 6'3 forward from Santa Rita, Pampanga, number 2, Mike Calisaan. Head coach for Phoenix is Topex Robinson. And now the starters for Barangay Ginebra, San Miguel. A 6'7 forward from Escalante Negros Occidental, number 38, Joe Defense. A 6'5 forward from Angono Rizal, number 10, Arvin Tolentino. A 6'8 center also from Angono, number 34, Christian Stanhardinger. A 6'1 guard from Cagayan Valley, number 11, Stanley Pringle. And a 5'9 guard from Nasugbu, Batangas, number 5, L.A. Tenorio. Head coach for Ginebra is Tim Cone. Our referees for this game,
Your starters for this ball game, nothing new for Phoenix: Banquero, Wright, Chua, Perkins, and Calisaan. And now we see the entrance of Joe Devans and Arvin Tolentino, which means Scotty Thompson will be playing off the bench for Coach Tim Cone. An important game, and this tip-off is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Again, we thank you for joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Ali Peak on the call. And Ali, you know what? Confidence is going to be very important for Barangay Ginebra. Just to show themselves that they can compete without Japet, they need a strong start here against Phoenix.
Yes, definitely they need a strong start. One of the things that was mentioned to me by some of the sources from Barangay Ginebra is just outside of chemistry, defense. Defense has not been addressed yet. So that's something that I'm looking to see how their defense responds tonight. When you start to do good things, especially defensively, you cause turnovers, you make stops, and you're able to convert on the other end, that builds confidence through the course of the game.
But Ali, let me extend this question. Coach Tim Cone has always been known for his defense. In Barangay Ginebra, a lot of these players aren't new. So what has been the problem in their defense that needs so much work when it was so effective in the PBA bubble, Ali?
Well, you know what? Let's not forget that it's been less than a year since they won a championship. And when you think about the downtime, and especially having to take a break or a couple of breaks, that takes a lot of steam out of you. And then just the adjustment of being back in a bubble per se. But these are just excuses, but they are real. They are factors. That could be a possibility. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but it could be a possibility. And it takes a lot out of you when you win a championship. So this is part of what the older players could be experiencing right now. And this team has been together for quite some time. That core is still intact. And after a while, you always hear that phrase, familiarity breeds
Contempt?
Yes. So who knows what's going on in their camp. But obviously, certain things aren't clicking the way they should. You see Coach Tim Cone, we saw him in the warm-ups. Instead of just regular warm-ups, they're going over the offense, the different patterns of the triangle offense. So that's a concern on his part.
It was back to basics at the warm-up for Coach Tim and Barangay Ginebra. As Banquero attacks, kicks it out. Pass almost stolen by Arvin Tolentino. Only 3 seconds to shoot. Matthew Wright has to put this one up. That's a miss. And they will run out of time. That ball did not hit the rim. 3-2 is the start for Barangay Ginebra. 2-point shot for Chua and a triple for Pringle.
I'll tell you what, Carlo, just to talk a little bit more about that. I mean, don't be surprised if you might see changes, in the not so distant future because of chemistry problems. But then again, how much time has any one of these teams had to really prepare? That's another factor that I think people have to put into consideration. But again, you are in the situation that you're in, and you just have to play your way out of it.
And we're not saying it as an excuse for Barangay Ginebra because everyone has dealt with it.
Exactly.
It just means that the other teams did a little bit better in dealing with the situation.
Definitely. And then you think about some of the teams that came in really prepared, right? TNT, for example, from the start all the way till the end, they were pretty much on point.
Well, the weird thing is, Ali, these two teams were the top two squads in our PBA bubble, number 1 and number 2, and now,
Ironically enough,
they find themselves in this situation where they need a victory, this one specifically, just to make sure or even inch closer to a playoff spot.
definitely. I mean, they're pretty much fighting for survival here. But let's take a look at this nice pass. And Justin Chua putting himself in the proper position to receive this pass, looking like his old self, which is cool because I'm a big fan of Justin Chua and what his journey has been. But that was a pick and roll action there. He cut to the basket, was able to get that pass and the bucket.
Strong start for Justin Chua, already 5 points in the ball game for him. Michael Kalisaan is the other scorer for Phoenix Super LPG. How about Kalisaan? Did not get a lot of minutes for Magnolia, was picked up in the preseason as a free agent by Phoenix, and now gets a starting role for Coach Topex Robinson.
Well, it's pretty interesting, right? You know, he also is playing in his hometown. But Michael Kalisaan was a very good player in the NCAA.
You coached against him, right?
Yes, we did. He gave us all types of problems. Now, you know, making his way to the PBA and making that adjustment, you know, that's something that's going to take some time. But he is in the starting lineup, and he is, you know, giving Coach Topex Robinson the energy, the hustle, the defense.
And when you give a player an opportunity and a chance to really show his worth, that guy will run through a brick wall for any coach.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And, you know, you can still see that he's trying to adjust and trying to figure out, like, even what kind of position he plays in the PBA. You see Christian Stan Hardinger with the elbows.
Well, the offense just looks difficult for Barangay Ginebra in the opening 4 minutes of this quarter. Foul called against Justin Chua. And then an extension of the arm for Christian.
Well, he did take one to the face by Jason Perkins, and that was after the call, it looked like.
Of course, the left-handed free throws coming from Christian. First one, too strong as we take a look at our leading rebounders for this season. Greg Slaughter, of course, Calvin Abueva, always expected to be the smallest player in our leading rebounders. Stan Hardinger, Junmar Fajardo, and Yusuf Taha, who has been playing very well for the Alaska Aces, but he was not able to play in their last game. Of course, the Aces are hoping that he will be able to return to action because they need his presence in the shaded area.
Well, he's you know, come along really well for Alaska. As a matter of fact, what they have over there is a developing group of big guys.
Abu Trotter.
Abu Trotter.
Barkley Ebonia.
Ebonia.
Brent Adamos.
Adamos. Also the two other guys that have been there, they've been in the league for quite some time.
Rodney Brundial.
Rodney Brundial, yes. And so, you know, that's a lot of size too. These guys are about 6 foot, between 6'5" and 6'8". So I like what they're establishing over there. And then they have a great tutor in Daniel Alfonso.
Meanwhile, Phoenix Super LPG looking very good in the opening minutes of this ball game. Matthew Wright defending L.A. Tenorio. That is a big defender to be placing against the general. Good move coming from Pringle, and that's an easy basket. There was some sort of miscommunication defensively for Phoenix.
Yeah, there was miscommunication on the part of Phoenix, but there was also miscommunication on the part of Barangay Ginebra. That wasn't the play that they were trying to run.
Jason Perkins for 3. That's good.
He's been consistent the last few games at the three-point line, knocking down three-point shots. And right now, you could see that Phoenix is the one playing with a sense of urgency. They're playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of organization. Let's keep in mind, like you said, Carlo, it took them time to adjust. Sometimes things just all of a sudden start to click. Let's take a look at this three-point shot, wide open. Confusion defensively. Ginebra not sure which defender's supposed to go out and challenge.
That's something you never want to see from your teammates. Someone pointing at the spot, saying that someone should be there.
And it's not a good feeling when you look over at the bench and you know that Tim Cone is your coach.
Jody Vance leaves the ball for Stan Hardinger. That will not work. Rebound for Perkins. He has 5 points in the game. So does Justin Chua. Matthew right now misses from deep. Easy rebound for Christian. Pringle will have to carry the offense for Barangay Ginebra as nothing else seems to be working for them. He has 5 of the 6 points. Eli Tenorio still coming up empty. 0 of 3 for today's ball game. 0 of 13 from their last contest against the TNT Tropangiga. 15-6, a big 9-point lead immediately for the Fuel Masters, as this time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. There is a big absence for Barangay Ginebra as Japet Aguilar is in uniform. You know that he tried, he probably wanted to push it, but that brace on that left knee is a sign that he is not fit enough to play in this ball game. He has been ruled out due to a sprained MCL. Someone has to fill the void, fill the gaps that will be left by Japet. And so far, it doesn't look like the case, as they're severely missing the aggression, the help defense, the rebounding of Japet in the opening minutes of this first quarter.
Yeah, for sure. They're filling that gap, that void, like you said. But you could also see confusion, not just defensively, but especially offensively. In the case of Barangay Ginebra, certain players not quite sure exactly where to go in the triangle offense.
Stan Hardinger making his move against Vic Manuel. Defense all over him. As Phoenix gets another stop here, Banquero goes on the run. Chris leaves it for Matthew Wright. Good pass down low. Jason Perkins could not finish. Second effort is there for Perk, as he has 9 points to lead all scorers.
It's a bit of an easy bucket there because they allowed Jason Perkins to just really seal down low and then get the offensive rebound and put it back.
Pringle playing cat and mouse with this defender. Good pass down low to Stan Hardinger. But decent rotation from Perkins. However, he still could not find a way to stop Christian from getting this end one opportunity.
Ginebra just going to have to grind their way back here. Look at the second effort by Jason Perkins. I mentioned his energy, which has been the biggest difference in the last few games that we've seen him play. And that's an example of it. And then Christian Stan Hardinger being able to muscle his way to a basket and getting fouled and going to the free throw line. But they're just going to have to find their way as these games go along. But, you know, the question is, do they have enough time? And I've said this already, that it may not happen in this conference. It may happen in the next conference for Ginebra.
Because what we're looking at right now, Ali, is Phoenix is at 4 and 5. Barangay Ginebra is at 3 and 5.
Yes.
So that's why this game is so crucial for the chances of both teams. Only one game remaining for Phoenix after this one, and it will be against one of the top teams in the league in San Miguel Beer. So
Absolutely.
You want to pick this one up.
You need to pick this one up. That was a nice take there by Jason Perkins against Prince Caparel.
Already double-digit scoring for Jason Perkins, 11 points in the game, 5 of 6 from the field, 21-9, a quick 12-point advantage for the Fuel Masters. Banquero using the screen from Perkins, another nice pass inside. Jason Perkins just bullying everyone.
And that's 6'4" going up against 6'7", 6'8".
Well, his Instagram username is Hefty Lefty, so you know that he knows how to use his size.
Hey, you know what? That makes me proud because I was a hefty lefty myself.
You're the OG Hefty
There's
Lefty.
the OG hefty lefty is Big Dorian Pena.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
you want to talk about hefty? That guy was hefty. I was semi-hefty.
You are not semi anywhere.
No, I'm not.
23-9 is the score. Another nice pass inside. Extra pass to Banquero. He attacks. He kicks it out to RJ Jesus. Fakes the three. Dribbles it closer. Just a hole in the defense. Fortunately for Barangay Ginebra, Hazul missed that gimme.
They dodged a bullet there. But this is the situation with personnel and chemistry. We're going to talk about that. Let's take a look at this play here. Pick and roll action. Chris Banquero has been a huge difference for this Phoenix team, especially when he started to find his rhythm and become his normal self again, setting up Jason Perkins for that shot down low.
Scotty Thompson in the ball game. Aljon Mariano also playing off the bench alongside Prince Capital. Only two starters remaining in Pringle and Stan Hardinger. Pringle rattles home the three.
For the most part, they're just out there playing. Sometimes we'll see a bit of the offense, sometimes we won't.
Matthew Wright being defended by Mariano. Uses the Pascual screen. Big man on him now. He wants to take this one-on-one. Matthew Wright for three. That's good.
Wow. And Phoenix is rolling right now, Carlo. They have all the confidence in the world. They're feeling really good about one another. And again, sense of urgency.
That short snap is good for Christian Stan Hardinger. At least doing what he can to keep Barangay Ginebra within striking distance here in the first quarter with 3 minutes remaining.
I think striking distance. Ooh, nice move. Wow.
He put some extra jelly on that layup as Matthew Wright scores 5 straight points, and the lead is back to 12 for Phoenix.
I think for Ginebra, Carlo, what you said is right. Just stay in it and just keep playing. Just keep playing. Just keep trying to put numbers on the board.
Pringle with a strong drive, misses. Rebound picked up by Garcia, and Phoenix is on the run. Cabral somehow finds himself against R.R. Garcia. It was small-to-small ball screen, clear foul against Scotty Thompson.
I think what Scotty Thompson was trying to do is he was trying to initiate a switch so he could be the one to end up guarding the guard spot. But let's take a look at this backdoor play by Matthew Wright. Nice pass from Pascual, but look at this athletic move by Matthew Wright over Christian Stan Hardinger.
Everything going well for Phoenix Super LPG here in the first quarter of action, getting anything and everything they want from offense. 28-14, Phoenix doubles up against Barangay Ginebra. Double-digit scoring already for Jason Perkins alongside 5 rebounds in 8 minutes on the floor. Efficient with his scoring, and he has been unstoppable in the shaded area.
Most definitely, especially with these types of efforts. Misses his first shot, gets the offensive rebound, puts it back in. But we've also seen him effective off the pick and rolls down low, and then, of course, knocking down 3-point shots.
Ali Peak and Carlo Pamintuan on the call for PBA rush. Matthew Wright fakes the 3, dribbles in closer. Oh, he should have shot that. He will, he would want that back, Ali.
Of course, but you know what? You see the unselfishness of Phoenix right now, and it's really contagious in a good way, in a good sense for the Phoenix Fieldmasters. And it's interesting that of what Matthew Wright had said in the press conference in their previous game after their win. He just said that, you know, they feel that they're just as good as the mighty Barangay Ginebra, even San Miguel's on any given day. Right now, so far, they're playing that way.
Ali, our game story for this particular matchup is escape the danger zone. Why? Because these two teams are at number 7 and number 8 right now. So you know they'd want to rise from the rankings, and that is why. Sorry, they are number 8 and number 9. That's even worse. So they need this win just to stay afloat, keep their heads above water at this stage of the tournament.
And again, I'm going to keep mentioning sense of urgency because that is so crucial, and so many coaches talk about that. Right now, Phoenix is the one playing this way. And Ginebra looks like they're still trying to figure out, you know, a good formula offensive-wise.
Prince Caperal from the outside, won't get the bounce. Rebound for Thompson. That will be the last foul to be given up by Phoenix Super LPG before it leads to free throws. But you can see defensively, Ali, it's clear what Phoenix is trying to do. They're packing the paint because you know Barangay Ginebra does not rely too heavily on their three-point shooting to power their offense.
Yes, definitely. They're doing a good job of preventing guys like Stanley Pringle from penetrating, especially, you know, in a fast-paced, fast break type of situation. They're really cutting off those gaps.
John Mariano, that shot won't work. Easy rebound for Vic Manuel. The remaining games for Barangay Ginebra after this will be the Alaska Aces and the Meralco Bolts. And again, for Phoenix Super LPG, the last game will be against the San Miguel Beermen. So those are the remaining assignments for both these squads. Aljun Melesio still hot as he uncorks a triple from the outside. Biggest lead of the ball game at 19 points for Phoenix Super LPG.
Did they have 11 three-point shots or 13 three-point shots in their last game? Melesio had a lot to do with that.
Well, Melesio was 3 of 4. They had a total of 19. Better
19.
Than,
Whoa, I'm way off the mark.
Aljun Mariano comes up short with a one-hander. And they're struggling to deal with this tight interior defense coming from Phoenix. RJ Hazul misses, and tap goes to Dillinger. Barangay Ginebra trying to speed things up, trying to score before the defense sets. Tenorio. That's a clear foul against R.R. Garcia. Not a smart move as they are in the penalty.
Foul is on R.R. Garcia, penalty. That's his first.
R.R. Garcia has been another player for Phoenix that's been playing really well down this stretch in the elimination round.
This will be an opportunity for LA Tenorio to finally get that ball through the hoop. As he gets the friendly roll on that one. Ali, it's a weird thing to say, but that's the first point of LA Tenorio in about 60 minutes of basketball. It's something that really normally doesn't happen.
Yes, yeah.
He does not struggle this way. He's so good.
But you know what? Sometimes just a team that's struggling offensively, particularly with the offense that they're running, making all these adjustments, chemistry, all these issues can sometimes offset, you know, your most valuable asset.
But maybe that is what LA Tenorio needs to be able to pick up the victory. Strong first quarter for Phoenix Super LPG. 33-16 in favor of the Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters against Barangay Ginebra. As we thank you once again for joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Ali Pico on the call. Ali, dream start for Phoenix.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're Coach Topex Robinson, you've got to be pleased right now. They came out with the energy. Their offense was clicking. And defensively, they're doing a really good job of taking Ginebra out of their game. But, just as I say all of that, at any given time, Ginebra can start clicking offensively, something that Phoenix has to be very, very aware of. Even though Ginebra's struggling in their offense.
Prince Caperal from the outside. As you can see, the rebounding story heavily in favor of Phoenix Super LPG because that has been their MO. They're packing the paint, making sure that Barangay Ginebra will not get good looks inside and will not get second chance opportunities.
Something that I'm sure Coach Topex Robinson and his staff really focused in on, before tonight's game. But they do have a lot of tools there that can very well match up with Ginebra.
You can see the frustration coming from Prince Caperal because he knows just how important his three-point shooting will be because that will stretch the defense somewhat for Phoenix. LA, will this be it? Finally, he gets one to drop from the outside.
This could be sort of the calm before the storm here, Carlo. You just never know. You just never know what can happen, especially when LA Tenorio starts to get his rhythm back.
And if there are two guys who can really dominate the scoring department for Barangay Ginebra and shoot them back into this ballgame, it's Pringle and it's Tenorio.
Exactly.
Perkins with the extra pass. Good defense from Barangay Ginebra. So at least you're seeing some adjustments coming from the defensive end of Barangay Ginebra.
I think it's just getting back to, just sort of basic philosophies. Maybe in the huddle, Coach Tim Cohn made the adjustments of saying, hey guys, it looks like you're out there thinking too much. It sort of does, actually, especially offensively. Just get back to playing. Find your rhythm that way.
Minute and a half gone by here in the second quarter. Phoenix Super LPG has been in control, in command of this ball game, but look out, Barangay Ginebra starting to heat up from the outside. That's back-to-back threes now for Barangay Ginebra.
Scotty Thompson with the three-point shot.
So the only good thing about an early deficit is that it's early and you have a lot of time to climb back into the contest. Barangay Ginebra doing exactly that, starting here in the second quarter. Stan Hardinger with a strong move, misses. Rebound for Perkins.
Good battle there by Perkins underneath the basket. Let's take a look at some of these executions here. This is the triangle set. Scotty Thompson gets the pass and knocks down that three-point shot.
You know that the defense of Phoenix will gamble with the three-point shooting of Barangay Ginebra, but if they make enough, that will stretch the defense, and that might just open things up for Stan Hardinger down low.
You're looking at percentages, absolutely, but at some point, percentages don't matter, especially when the opposing side is knocking down three-point shots. Justin Chua playing with so much confidence, Carlo.
How about 7 points
yes.
already for Justin Chua? Quick attack on the other side for Scotty Thompson, and unfortunately, the ball lands on top of him as he was lying on the outside there. Turnover against Ginebra. 13-point lead for Phoenix Super LPG. Melesio against Thompson. As that is a foul on Dillinger. Dillinger trying to plead his case here with our referee. As Banquero checks back into the ball game, he has 4 assists in this game already, replacing Melesio, who has been nothing short of wonderful off the bench for Coach Topex Robinson.
Such a great pickup for Phoenix. Jared Dillinger didn't agree with that call there, trying to fight through the pick set by Justin Chua.
Azul uses the Perkins screen. RJ, good pass inside, gets the ball right back, fakes the 3, nothing there. Perkins for 3. Won't work. Chua loses the offensive rebound as Thompson picks it up.
The rebound battle between the bigs of both squads is going to be very, very crucial here. You know, Christian Sandhardinger essentially taking on Justin Chua and Jason Perkins underneath the basket.
Thompson, corner pocket, 3 ball, no good. As Stan Hardinger will give them an extra possession here. Fresh 14 on the shot clock for Barangay Ginebra. Stan Hardinger doesn't need it.
Well, he couldn't find anybody open. You saw some of his teammates trying to cut to the basket, but Christian Stan Hardinger decided to take matters into his own hands, turnaround jump shot. But, you know, I'm talking about the rebounding battle here. This is something that Phoenix has to really key in on. You can't allow Christian Stan Hardinger to keep getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound, which is his thing. That's what he does really, really well.
Francis Tamsi. This is his first action of this contest. As Phoenix is protecting an 11-point lead, but a much better performance here in the second quarter for Barangay Ginebra.
Much better.
Only 2 points so far in the period for Phoenix Super LPG as their offense has hit a brick wall. Tenorio from the outside. That's good again. 2 3-point shots converted by LA.
That was deep. Goodness gracious. And really, the offense sort of halted there.
But the defense also working well, working hard for Barangay Ginebra. That's why they're only down by 8 now. Perkins, mid-range jumper is good.
He's feeling it. He's feeling it. That was good defense by Christian Sandhardinger. He really extended and challenged that shot, but Perkins is playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Back to a double-digit advantage, 37-27 for the Fuel Masters. Tenorio heating up another 3 on the way. Good again!
Wow. Oh my goodness. 3 3-point shots for LA Tenorio, and you knew this at some point this was going to come.
That is just unbelievable trust in yourself after going 0-14, after going 0 of 3 to start this ball game. You convert on 3 straight 3-point shots. That's LA Tenorio for you. Matthew Wright goes to the crossover, pull-up jumper, no good. That's a push on Joe, perhaps? Yes, it will be.
I thought that was a pretty good box out by Joe DeVance. It was a face guard. Let's take a look at this shot here by LA Tenorio. He just one dribble, pull up for that 3-point shot. And then this time off the handoff from Christian Sandhardinger. Matthew Wright too late to challenge that shot.
And now LA is starting to feel that flow again, get into that groove, into that scoring rhythm. They're right back into this ball game. Banquero misses the long 2. Tolentino with the board.
He actually had Justin Chua wide open, diving to the basket.
Tenorio, now you have to respect his 3-point shooting, allowing him to create for Stan Hardinger.
Things like a chain reaction, right? Opens things up. 3-point shooting, and then Justin Chua with the left-hand hook shot down deep. But I like that offensive sequence by Ginebra. Christian Sandhardinger receiving that behind the back pass from LA Tenorio and scoring.
Basic basketball for Justin Chua, just ran as hard as he could to the other side, posted up against Pringle, who could do nothing to defend him that deep.
And you look at this lead now, cut down tremendously in comparison to how things were in that first quarter.
The biggest lead was at 19 points, and now it's just down to 7. As Barangay Ginebra catching fire here in the second quarter. This time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. A 16-16 second quarter so far. That is the story for Barangay Ginebra. And front and center is this man, L.A. Tenorio. We talked about him and his ability to score even with the struggles in his past game, even with missing his first 3 shots of this contest. It doesn't matter. L.A. Tenorio has supreme belief in his abilities.
Well, it's all about confidence, you know, and rhythm and, you know, and not getting too low on yourself for going 0-14. This is a guy that's been around for a very long time, and you see, knocked down 3 3-point shots, set up Christian Sanhardinger beautifully before that timeout.
Oh, good pass. Pringle knocks down another 3.
All of a sudden, Barangay Ginebra finding a really good rhythm offensively, cutting this lead down dramatically.
But Perkins continues to pour in the points. 15 first half points for Big Perk.
He thought he got fouled there. Complaining to the ref about a non-call.
And Hardinger looking for his options, gives the ball up to Tenorio. LA, the runner, a little too strong as Calisaan picks up the rebound. Banquero bringing down the ball for Phoenix Super LPG. Forward pass to Perkins. Good extra pass to Calisaan. Open jumper, won't get the bounce. And that's a foul on Chua.
Over the back call there. And really trying to out-jump Christian Sanhardinger from behind.
Warning on Justin Chua for return to a ball.
41-35, a 6-point advantage for Phoenix. This was once a 19-point edge for them as Jake Pascual re-enters the ball game to replace Justin Chua. We have not seen a lot of Vic Manuel in this ball game, Ali. As you know that the muscle man is still trying to get himself into game shape.
Well, interestingly enough, right? Because he is so, you know, even at the condition that he's in right now, he's still very, very dangerous. And we've seen him put up some pretty significant numbers this conference.
That's another foul against Mariano. Team foul number 4 for Barangay Ginebra. No, Ginebra is a squad that usually does not foul a lot, Ali, so this is something new to them. Something that they're not comfortable with entirely. Right, using the Pascual screen. Perkins asking for the ball. Too much space given to him as Perkins knocks it down from the 18 points in the first half.
It's a good setup there by Matthew Wright. I mean, really, it was just a basic pass to the other side, and Jason Perkins just knocked down the 3-point shot.
Pringle to L.A. Tenorio. Drives in closer, hooks the pass over to Mariano. Extra pass to Christian Sanhardinger, loses the ball. The referee saying that it will stay on the side of Barangay Ginebra.
Christian Sanhardinger is such a huge player to deal with. I mean, just in so many aspects. I mean, he really wears you down. And you can see that it's Pascual, Justin Chua's assignment to deal with him, even Jason Perkins for that matter. Get a body on him at all times, anytime the ball goes up.
Well, unfortunately for Mariano, he could not hang on to that offensive rebound. And that is a completed stop for the Fuel Masters. Banquero. Tight pass down low. Calisaan reverse layup was caught, blocked, and fouled by Mariano.
Beautiful pass there by Chris Banquero. You know, again, he's a very, very valuable asset to this team as far as the point guard position goes. But he found Michael Calisaan underneath the basket.
No, Calisaan.
I mean, honestly, you know, you sort of kind of wonder what position is his natural position in the PBA.
Yeah.
In the NCAA, he was playing inside. He was that power forward
He was
position.
a 4.
Yeah, he was a 4, and he was a dominant 4. But you know, sizes have changed in today's game in the PBA. He's about my height. I'm about 6'3.5". He looks like he's about the same height. power forwards and centers in the PBA now are about 6'7" and up.
2 misses for Michael Calisaan, but Jake Pascual just casually going to that spot and picking up the offensive rebound and putback.
One of the ways to answer back a run by the opposing side is just effort, hustle plays. And that's what Phoenix is doing so far.
Arvin Tolentino, corner 3, nothing there. As that is a foul, a little too handsy was Banquero. Third team foul against Phoenix, while Barangay Ginebra is already in the penalty.
It kind of feels like a playoff game, don't you think? Am I right about
I'm
that?
sure that it feels that way for both these teams, because if you lose this one,
but I mean, how do you feel?
of course.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Okay, we're on the same page.
I mean, a lot of the games remaining will have that playoff atmosphere, as the teams will be jockeying for position. Tenorio, another 3 on the way. Good again!
Why not? 4 in a row for LA Tenorio. Wow.
That is a lesson for all you younger basketball players out there. 0-13 in one game, it doesn't matter. As long as you trust the work that you put in, you continue to put up those shots.
You know, I always say that, athletes, basketball players in particular, have to have some sort of short-term memory. You know, okay, so that was nightmarish, 0 for 14. So you forget about that, and you come back the very next day and say, hey, it's a new day. And Stanley Pringle knocking down a 3-point shot.
Barangay Ginebra is heating up from downtown. The defense of Phoenix was so focused on taking away the shaded area, but the 3-point shots have been the biggest weapon for Barangay Ginebra. San Miguel in the second period. LA Tenorio leading them with 4 triples. Stanley Pringle has connected with his second, as they're right back into this ball game, leading to this Phoenix timeout. 46-41, still in favor of the Fuel Masters. Stanley Pringle and LA Tenorio leading the charge for Barangay Ginebra. San Miguel, we specifically said that they're the two that will have to find a way to pour in the points for Barangay Ginebra to get back into this ball game. 14 for Tenorio, 14 for Pringle. Combined, they are 8 of 11 from downtown.
Wow. You know, and we talk about how explosive Ginebra's offense can be once they start to find some sort of rhythm. That's what's happening right now. You can also say that Christian Stan Hardinger has been a part of that charge inside the paint.
Good response coming from RJ Azul with a triple. Raleigh, the turnaround with a 3-point shooting. They were 2 of 9 in the first quarter. Now they've already converted on 7 3-point shots here in the second. Talking about Barangay Ginebra.
Yes, now if you're Phoenix, and if Phoenix's coaching staff was focusing on the percentages, you know, percentages can only take you so far, because at some point, if the opposing team starts knocking down 3-point shots, then your whole defensive approach, your defensive plan has to change.
Vic Manuel against a smaller defender, goes to the runner, nothing there. Tip in is a miss for Jake Pascual, as finally Stan Hardinger gets the rebound for Barangay Ginebra.
I'm telling you, that is a crucial battle down low for Phoenix. They have to be able to win that rebounding battle.
You can see the defense of Phoenix adjusting, cannot pack the paint anymore, opening these mid-range opportunities for Barangay Ginebra. Unfortunately, Joe DeVance could not convert with that one. Right, goes to Vic Manuel. Azul open for 3, not this time. So Barangay Ginebra bouncing back here in the second quarter, down by as many as 19 points in the first. Dillinger will try his luck from the outside. Nothing there. Rebound for Hazul. Phoenix will try to push, but Hazul changes his mind. There were enough defenders to make him pull it back out. Matthew Wright with a bounce pass to Vic Manuel. Lost control of it. Hazul with 6 to shoot. RJ bounces it to Vic. Manuel does not take a lot of threes as he misses that one. Offensive rebound for Phoenix though, as they will have the opportunity to end the proceedings here in the second quarter. RJ, fly-by move, three-point shot is good.
Good patience by Phoenix.
Scotty Thompson to beat the buzzer for three, that's good.
Hey, when it rains, it pours, right?
The three-point shots all of a sudden opening up for Barangay Ginebra.
Three-point field goal for
Scotty Thompson with just enough time to let that one go.
52 for Phoenix Super LPG.
As he skies over Vic Manuel and banks it home. That is an important make because instead of feeling sorry for allowing RJ Hazul getting that three-point shot, you end the quarter with a triple of your own. And Barangay Ginebra, even if they're down, are right back into this contest. Thanks to the efforts of Stanley Pringle, L.A. Tenorio, and now Scotty Thompson. Their deficit is down to 6. Phoenix leads 52 to 46. At the half, the score is 52 for Phoenix Super LPG. The Fuel Masters are up against the 46 of Barangay Ginebra San Miguel as we welcome you back to PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Ali Peak on the call. It was a very interesting first half of action with two very different occurrences in the first quarter and in the second, because in the opening period, Jason Perkins got going, Phoenix got to a hot start, and they led by as many as 19 points in the opening period.
Yes, definitely. And of course, you know, steadily, surely, it never started to get back into their offense, and they started to find a really good flow. Nice acrobatic move there by Matthew Wright over Christian Hardinger in that backdoor play and that backdoor pass by Pascual. But you can't deny the firepower that Ginebra still possesses. L.A. Tenorio, after those 2 3-point shots, he gives a nice behind-the-back pass to Christian Hardinger for the inside shot. And then Jason Perkins on the other end, still hot, even though Ginebra was starting to make their run, knocking down that 3-point shot. And then Stanley Pringle getting involved. He had double figures in the first half.
The confidence was contagious for Barangay Ginebra San Miguel as this big three coming from RJ Hazul was quickly answered back with another, perhaps as important three coming from Scotty Thompson, just to give them something to feel good about as they head into the halftime break. These halftime stats are brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. The big story is a three-point shooting because Barangay Ginebra is not known to make a lot of threes. They are one of the worst teams in the league in terms of just making three-point shots with only 6.6 per ball game. Now they have already 10, and we're just in the first half, Ali.
Yes, definitely. 47% shooting percentage from three-point land is what Ginebra produced in that first half, as opposed to Phoenix's 43%. And you're taking a look at some of these statistics here. Rebounds goes to Phoenix. They've been very active in the paint, taking care of Christian Hardinger, 26 to 17. Assist column, Phoenix is doing a pretty good job of distributing the basketball, 11 to 6. And then points in the paint is something that you have to really pay attention to. So far, Phoenix has that advantage, 22 to 8. That's a big discrepancy. Ginebra's going to have to really bounce back in that category.
Perkins leading all scorers with 18. RJ Hazul comes off the bench already with 10. But on the other side, it's a big three now for Barangay Ginebra without Japet Aguilar, who is nursing a reported sprained left MCL. They have to rely heavily on Tenorio Pringle and Stan Hardinger. And so far, so good for those three, as Barangay Ginebra is only down by 6 points. It could have been so much worse for Barangay Ginebra with how they started in this ball game.
Well, I think you were right about what you said, going into halftime on a high note. That's very, very important because you want confidence, encouragement, and also momentum going into the third quarter. for Ginebra.
Third quarter has just started at the Don Honorio Ventura State University Gymnasium in Bacolor, Pampanga, as Matthew Wright goes down low. His pass is stolen by Stanley Pringle. Same starting units for both camps as Barangay Ginebra gets something easy. Arvin Tolentino with a fast break bucket.
Well, that was a tough pass. Attempted to execute by Phoenix. A lot of hands there by Ginebra, which resulted in a turnover for Phoenix. They got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball, especially to start this third quarter.
Same starting unit for Barangay Ginebra. A little bit of a change for Phoenix Super LPG, and that it is that guy, RJ Hazul, was off the bench in the first half, now starts the third quarter and immediately makes an impact.
Well, he's going to have to make more impacts, especially from the three-point mark, especially because Ginebra, you can feel Ginebra coming.
That is a third three-point conversion of RJ Hazul. Arvin Tolentino comes up short from the corner, and Phoenix will run. Banquero with a nice dish to Matthew Wright for the easy layup.
Nice setup there by Chris Banquero, finding Matthew Wright. Fast break point.
5 assists in the ball game for Banquero, 9 points for Wright. RJ Hazul got caught with his hand inside the cookie jar there. Whistled for the first team foul of Phoenix in the third quarter.
It's important that you don't want to pick up cheap fouls. You know, RJ Hazul, we know that he's very good at doing that, but probably not the right time to do that.
Pringle splits the double team. Strong finish for Stan the man.
Still has that explosiveness in his legs to get the ball over the defense.
57-50. Barangay Ginebra still trying to slowly get their way back into this contest. They made a big move in the second quarter, outscoring the Fieldmasters 30-19. Banquero, the banker, rattles home.
Banquero is very, very good at those floaters. And this time he used the glass. He was actually wide open. The defense was late to react.
Tolentino hesitated from the outside because he missed his last shot. Joe DeVance will not hesitate, but he misses. Phoenix starting to push. Hazul open for another three. Not this time. As that ball will stay with Phoenix. Tapped out by Tenorio.
You see both bigs crashing the boards. Perkins and Justin Chua battling.
Baseline throw-in for the Fieldmasters as they locate Justin Chua. Handoff to Wright. Dillinger in the ballgame, replacing Arvin Tolentino. Behind the back pass, Chua. Perkins for three. Nothing there. Offensive rebound for Chua. One more try. Still a miss for Justin.
Still good effort on the part of Justin Chua. He out-rebounded.
Look at the speed of Stanley Pringle going coast to coast with the layup.
Again, so explosive to the basket, Stanley Pringle.
Barangay Ginebra staying right there within striking distance of Phoenix Super LPG. Perkins makes his move. As he draws the foul, will it be 2 free throws?
Pushing foul number 38, Joe DeVance. That's his third.
Take a look at his
Once
drive
again,
here.
Ali.
Definitely. And one of the things he's really good at, Stanley Pringle, is cuffing the ball, protecting it from all the hands trying to strip it loose.
Reminds me so much of how Allen Iverson attacks the rim.
Even Derrick Rose back in his days in Chicago.
Yeah. Puts his head down.
And just goes.
Yep.
You know, the one thing that I noticed is off of one leg. Most of the time, you know, especially when he was playing for Globalport, you would see him explode off of 2 legs.
Meanwhile, Jason Perkins continues to pour in the points for the Fieldmasters. He has been the most consistent player for Coach Topex Robinson here in the tournament so far.
Well, he looks like he really wants to, he wants his team to make moves, you know, in this conference. They got off to a really bad start. They still have a chance to put themselves in a position.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my gosh. Stanley Pringle, another acrobatic shot. He's just so strong as a guard in the league.
Banquero to Justin Chua. Makes his space. Chua could not finish. But this is still a 7-point lead for Barangay Ginebra. Pringle gives up the ball. Joe Devance attacks. Extra pass to Dillinger. The Daredevil. That short jumper won't work. The tap goes to Banquero. Perkins attacks. The layup is gone.
Beautiful pass by Matthew Wright. And Perkins in full steam ahead attacks Joe Devance.
22 big points for Jason Perkins to lead all scorers in this ball game. Tenorio. Kick out pass. Pringle for 3. No good. Rebound for Christian. Oh, that's a foul.
Uh-oh.
That's a foul on RJ Hazul as he took a swipe. I think he hit the knee of Stan Hardinger.
Did they bump knees?
I think it was a swipe of RJ. See that player again. Ball was loose.
His second, 2 for Phoenix.
Yeah, just put his hand down there, hit it, and then that was the foul called. But it's just an ordinary foul for. Oh no, I think it would merit a review from our officials.
We just got to see where the ball is and where RJ Hazul is if they're going to play it back.
Because it could be upgraded to a deliberate foul if it's determined that Hazul was not going for the ball, perhaps. So just saying the possibilities of what could happen with this review.
Well, it looks like Christian Stan Hardinger is all right, so that's a good thing. You sort of hold your breath.
Brian Enriquez from the bench of Barangay Ginebra is
so,
called for a technical foul. It's something that you do not, necessarily see that often in the PBA. He was not involved in the play. As that's just a free point for Phoenix Super LPG. I think you can hear Coach Tim Cohn disagreeing with what just happened there.
Either that or he's yelling at the assistant.
64-54 again. Brian Enriquez, the rookie of Barangay Ginebra, whistled for a technical foul as Ginebra will retain possession. Back to a double-digit advantage. Thompson kicks it out to Devant. Inside now. Christian Stan Hardinger with a strong move against Pascual.
It was a nice seal by Christian Stan Hardinger. He attacks Pascual right off the bat. Does a good job of making space to get that shot off.
Banquero versus Pringle. Banquero attacks baseline. His short pass stolen by Joe Devance. And now Barangay Ginebra will try to go on the run. But the defense is quick for Phoenix Super LPG to get down. Christian attacks, and he is fouled. 2 free throws coming up for Stan Hardinger.
It's just a lot to deal with. Christian Stan Hardinger has a motor. There's a few guys in the league that have motors the way he does. The other person I would think about would be a Jumar Pajardo. And again, it's a lot to deal with defensively because he just keeps attacking you. Whether it's crashing the offensive rebounds, crashing the glass rather, running the floor, or getting the basketball off of a pick and roll, or sealing it.
I think Christian Stan Hardinger and Calvin Abueva bought the same motor from the same supplier, Ali. Because they will make you react at any given point. They will just charge into you and make you do something.
That is true. That is true. But I'm just going way back now. I'm going back to guys like, an Eric Meg when he's playing for Tanduay, or a Rudy Hatfield when he was playing for Tanduay.
Yep.
That same type of motor, just non-stop, just keeps going and going.
Second free throw falls in for Stan Hardinger as he inches his squad closer here in the third period. 64 to 57. Glad you're still joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan with Ali Peak on the call. It was an atrocious start for Barangay Ginebra, but they have since worked their way back into the ball game. But talking about working, how about Jason Perkins? 24 points, 7 rebounds. He is 10 of 14 from the field.
Well, the defender thought that he was going to attack left. He faked that attack left, attacked right, and got all the way to the basket.
Spacing was a little bit off for Barangay Ginebra.
That's a physical matchup between Jake Pascual and C-Stand. Jake Pascual, one of the stronger, more physical big men in the league.
That could be problematic for Phoenix because that is their 4th team foul here in the period. And Hardinger, cross-court pass, almost picked off. Dillinger, short jumper, won't work. Oh, but look who's there to put that back. Of course, it's Scotty Thompson.
You just cannot forget about Scotty Thompson. He's around there floating, and he'll hurt you that way.
Perkins, face-up jumper, no good. Rebound C-Stand. Barangay Ginebra trying their best to turn the momentum right here, right now. Pringle to Thompson for 3. No good. Rebound for Matthew. Right now initiates the attack. Aggressive move coming from Ryan.
You know, what's impressive about these guards, about these small forwards of Phoenix is they're not afraid of the contact. They will attack the interior defense and take the contact, take the physical hits.
Good caught coming from Stanley Pringle as he gets the end one opportunity. He angled like he was going to go for the handoff, and then all of a sudden attack the shaded area. Look at this one more time. Just a backdoor move. Banchero could not get to the ball as Pascual was late to rotate. Pringle makes them pay. He'll be taking the bonus when we come back. This time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. The action will continue tomorrow, still here at the Don Honorio Ventura State University Gymnasium. Our first game, Terra Firma Jeep against the Meralco Bolts, the returning Meralco Bolts. And then the Blackwater Bossing will try to play the role of a spoiler as they go up against the NLEX Road Warriors. 12 points in the ball game for Matthew Wright alongside 5 assists. As Pringle is on the line for the bonus free throw.
He's really been the spearhead in this third quarter outside of Christian Stan Hardinger. You know, attacking the basket, getting out in the break. That backdoor play.
Larry Muyang, his first action of the ball game, replacing Jake Pascual.
And he had a pretty good outing in their last game. Larry Muyang.
Coach Tofix Robinson will give the youngsters opportunities. He has trusted Aljun Melesio, gives Nick Demuses a few minutes here and there. Larry Muyang also getting his chances with Phoenix Super LPG. 6-point advantage as Matthew Wright was able to fish for that foul, making something out of nothing there, and he will be rewarded with a couple of free throws for his effort.
Foul is on number 2, Jared Dillinger. That's his second, 2 for Ginebra.
it's one of the things that a lot of good scorers know how to do is draw the fouls.
LA Tenorio checks back into the ball game. Prince Caperal joining him. And Stan Hardinger will take a break again. No Japet Aguilar with a reported sprained MCL. He was in uniform earlier, but he has since worn a knee brace just to keep that knee solid, eliminate any movement that might make the injury worse.
Now, the good thing is that the MCL is exposed to blood in that area, so that gives it time to heal. You know, unlike the ACL, it's not exposed to blood, so that's why surgeons have to go in and repair it.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. Thank you for that, for dropping that knowledge on us.
You've had, I had 5 knee operations, and I would tell you, you learn a lot about your body throughout your career.
Of course, we're hoping that Japet will be able to bounce back because Ginebra needs his presence, especially in the closing games of the elimination round. Jason Perkins will just a patient but effective drive to the hoop.
He's been on it the entire game.
26 points for Jason Perkins, as he has been putting in the numbers here, as an offensive foul is called against Prince Caperal. Larry Muyang draws that foul.
Prince Caperal, that's his first.
Let's see that one more time. Oh yeah, the face of Muyang was there, and then Caperal elevated his arm. Referee Nol Kilingen right on top of it. Of course, one of our veteran referees calling that foul. 72-64, an 8-point lead for Phoenix Super LPG. LA Tenorio all over RR Garcia, as finally he gives the ball up to right. Ball screen provided by Muyang. Larry, no good on the jumper. Swing back to the side quickly on the attack is Barangay Ginebra. Tenorio attacks baseline. Penalty situation for Phoenix Super LPG, as LA Tenorio will have 2 free throws coming right up.
It's a nice heads-up play there by LA Tenorio.
No, Muyang just checked in. He might not have been aware that they were in the penalty situation already. As Tenorio, this was how he gained his rhythm in the first half, Ali. He took
Just
2 free throws, made both,
free
and then all of a sudden the 3-point shot
He
started to fall.
exploded for 4 3-point shots in the first half. And so far, 16 points in this game.
The second one is good for LA. But the lead has not dipped beyond this level. 6-7 points, that's been where Phoenix has kept this game, even with chances for Barangay Ginebra to inch closer. They would get their response usually from this match.
All because
8 big points for Perkins.
It really is. You're right on the mark. It's been Perkins, and that is a difficult shot, the one he just took.
Thompson now goes to Mariano. Tenorio up top. Tenorio runs the horns. Caperal sets his feet for 3. No good. As the ball bounces, Larry Muyang. 2 minutes 45 remaining in the third quarter. Good pass down low. Muyang with a fake. Could not finish on the other side. And that is a poor foul on Perkins. They are in the penalty. At that point, you would say that it was not worth it to try and chase that loose ball.
It's not, because, and let's take a look at this move here. Really, he kind of powered his way over Aljan Mariano for that left-hand hook shot.
74-65, 2 free throws coming up for Barangay Ginebra after this timeout. Jason Perkins has been on point all game long, matching his conference high with 28, just 3 from setting a new career high, as Perkins has been the dominant scorer for the Fuel Masters in this ball game against Barangay Ginebra.
He's on his way to 30-plus points. You know, we still have another quarter to play, but he's been really playing well, very well, over the last few games. 10 points in this quarter, and it looks like he's not slowing down anytime soon.
Well, Phoenix could not afford to have him slowing down because he is keeping Barangay Ginebra at bay, as Scotty Thompson misses that first free throw. No, only short breaks afforded to Christian Stan Hardinger, as they can't really
go
afford
deep.
It, yep.
Yeah, they can't go deep into the lineup.
Especially when
You know,
he does this.
Yeah, there's no one there, you know, to really complement Christian Stan Hardinger other than Prince Caporal and Aljan Mariano, if you will.
Stan Hardinger, his signature move not working out there, as we have another rookie seeing action for Coach Topex Robinson and Nick Demusis, with another rookie, Aljan Melesio, also on the floor. Garcia with a nice bounce pass down low, wide open for Demusis.
The defense was expecting R.R. Garcia to wing it to the other side, on the other side of the wing, but instead he found Nick Demusis wide open underneath. Where was the defense?
You know, like Justin Chua Ali, R.R. Garcia is another player who found the second win of his career with Phoenix Super LPG.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. You know, and it looks like he's really enjoying himself being a part of this Phoenix team.
76-65, an 11-point lead for Phoenix. Foul drawn by Matthew Wright. Only the 13th foul, though, for Barangay Ginebra.
You see a lot of guards working that pick and roll, that ball screen. You know, where they come off the screen and then they attack. They come back towards the middle and attack straight down the lane. We've seen guys like Chris Paul, Devin Booker attack the same way.
Melesio to Wright, curling. Oh, foul given up by Matthew Wright. Again, that'll be 2 free throws on the other side for Ginebra.
You can't afford these types of cheap turnovers here. You know, you got to take better care of the basketball.
Yeah.
You got to be more aware.
But at that point, I mean, if he did not give up the foul, it would be sure 2 points on the fast break. So
For sure, yes, definitely. So I guess it does make sense. You make him earn it at the free throw line. But still, the expression, the look on Coach Topex Robinson says it all.
yeah, it was the turnover that
It was the
caused
turnover
that
that caused it.
situation.
Yeah, I mean, just take care of the basketball.
Still a lot of time for Barangay Ginebra to work on this 10-point deficit. That was the first free throw conversion for Thompson in this ball game. He was playing off the bench, as Coach Tim had to adjust his unit with the absence of Japet Aguilar. Melesio playing point, being hounded by Tenorio. Having trouble with the basketball. Finally, R.R. Garcia takes it from him. R.R. uses the screen from Demusis, kicks it out to Perkins. 5 seconds to shoot. Perkins for 3. No good. Rebound Pringle.
It's pretty good defense there by Ginebra, pressuring the basketball.
Stan Hardinger asking for the ball down low. Finally, they were able to locate him. Christian with the end-one opportunity.
Nice strong move towards the middle. And then he comes back on the other side with his right hand. Let's take a look at it here. He attacks left and then switches hands, switches back to his right to get that shot off. Very Karl Malone-ish in terms of the way he's able to attack the basket there.
He was waiting for that pass for so long, as he knew he had a size advantage against Demusis, but he missed the bonus free throw again. It's at this stage where Phoenix usually gets an answer when their lead is down to just 7 points.
So you got to wonder where and when someone like Vic Manuel is going to be put into the basketball game.
Oh, fishing expedition coming from Perkins, as the referees did not bite. Pringle goes on the attack, push shot, no good. But Pringle gets the ball back. but he overshoots the mark down low. That was a gimme for Pringle. Unfortunate miss for him. Straightaway 3 for Melesio, rattles out. Battle for the rebound, picked up by Joe Devance. Barangay Ginebra has the numbers here as they miss another gimme.
Wow.
Rushing too much on offense as Perkins misses also on the other side. Everyone rushing.
They just need to slow it down. One of these teams has to slow things down.
LA Tenorio with 1 second remaining to be the buzzer for 3. Nothing there. What happened in those final seconds, Ali?
I don't know. They could have slowed things down and just got a better shot out of it.
Gimme misses
Yes.
from Stanley Pringle, from Scotty Thompson, and then rush shots on the other side for Jason Perkins from Aljun Melesio. But Phoenix will manage to hang on to a slim advantage, 76-69, heading into the 4th and final quarter of action. This helter-skelter type of ball game, Christian Stan Hardinger fits like a glove, as without Japet Aguilar, he has had to do more, do things better, and that's exactly what he is trying to perform for Barangay Ginebra. 15 points, 10 rebounds in the ball game, 6 of 11 from the field for Christian.
I think you're right. He's doing it all by himself down low throughout the entire game and going up against really, 4 defenders. If you think about it, on the Phoenix side, from that big man position.
Quarter scoring in favor of Phoenix into the 3rd quarter by only 1 point as RJ Azul opens the scoring with a one-hander here in the 4th period. Thank you for joining us on PBA Rush. Carlo Pamintuan and Ali Pico on the call, the 5 for Coach Nimcone, Thompson, Pringle, Tenorio, Devance, and Stan Hardinger. That is a kickball violation. Fresh 14 on the shot clock for Barangay Ginebra. Christian against Chua, posting up. And Hardinger. Cross-court pass to Thompson for 3. Short, Chua with the board.
It's good defense there by Justin Chua on Christian Stan Hardinger.
He's joined by the Muses Azul, Banquero, and Melesio. Not a very tall lineup for Coach Topex Robinson. Perhaps he wants a bit of pace, a bit of speed here in the early goings of the final quarter. Melesio drives inside, kicks it out to Chua, fakes the 3, 1 dribble, pull-up jumper, sweet stroke coming from Chua.
I love it. Nice 3-point. They faked the 3-point shot, took a few dribbles in, mid-range jump shot.
Again, Ali, that 7-point lead has felt like a barrier for Barangay Ginebra. Every time that they inch that close, Phoenix have had their answers.
And I think that's critical. That's huge on the part of Phoenix.
Good stop here for the Field Masters. Chua sat on the ball accidentally, but he was able to find a way to send it to Melesio. Melesio, the youngster for 3, that's short. These early shots are not helping the cause of Phoenix as Pringle attacks, and he will take 2 free throws. Again, you like aggression coming from a rookie like Melesio, but you also want him to be under control.
That wasn't the best shot selection by Melesio. Let's take a look at this drive here. Stanley Pringle taking on 2-3 defenders. It doesn't matter. But in that case scenario, they could have found a better way to operate the offense. You don't have to take that shot that quick, especially when you have a defender that close to you. But this is where Phoenix has to be smart down the stretch. taking care of the basketball, right? Not fishing for fouls, just play and shot selection. So far, so good as far as dealing with Christian Stan Hardinger underneath the basket.
Again, not a lot of Vic Manuel in this ball game. Very limited minutes coming from the big man. Only 9 minutes so far. He hasn't scored, grabbed 3 rebounds. As Coach Topix Robinson, it's like he's almost being forced to have to use this at the 4 spot just to try and give our Jason Perkins some rest here in this second half.
Oh, a lot of bodies flying all over the place.
RJ Hazul giving up a duty foul to prevent that fast break opportunity for Barangay Ginebra.
2 fouls for Phoenix.
Again, the problem for Coach Tim Cone is he's had to rely so much on his starters that at some point they just get tired. Let's see if they'll be able to have enough gas left in the tank to complete a comeback as Chua just denies Stan Hardinger. Banchero kicks it out to Melesio. Melesio, another 3 on the way. That's 3 misses now here in the second half for the rookie.
These are rush shots by Phoenix. I don't like it.
And then an easy basket on the other side
Exactly.
for Stan Hardinger. Lead is back down to 7 points for Phoenix Super LPG. Chua losing control of the basketball. As Pringle, I think, hurt his elbow.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. You know, Justin Chua could have been a little bit more patient.
Yeah.
You know, guys from Phoenix, it looks like they're getting way ahead of themselves. Their confidence is booming, which is a good thing. But then they start to take matters into their own hands because they think that they have the openings there. Look, just run the offense, get the best shot, especially in this 4th quarter. Ginebra is within striking distance, and they're very, very dangerous.
Great effort coming from Stanley Pringle. Unfortunately, his pass went to the wrong man. As the ball went back to Phoenix Super LPG, he will take a break. As you can see, Matthew Wright just telling everyone to compose themselves, calm down.
Settle, exactly.
As you see the exit of Melesio, Justin Chua, that's more like it on offense. As there is, I think, a loose ball foul, this might be.
Foul number 34, Christian Stan Hardinger, his second, 1 on Barangay Ginebra.
80-73. This has been, as we said, time and again, the barrier.
Shooting 2, Justin Chua.
Every time Barangay Ginebra starts to make some sort of run, again, within close striking distance, you know, things like this happen. But of course, Phoenix, when they go to the free throw line, they got to convert.
But you know, with the caliber of Barangay Ginebra, it just takes one opportunity.
That's all it takes. That's all it
One
takes.
shot at it. As Chua gets the second free throw to drop. Taking a look at Coach Tim Cone, assistant coach Richard Del Rosario. One of the most successful head coach and assistant coach combination in PBA history. Stan Hardinger with a nice pass. Oh, unfortunately, Thompson steps out of bounds for a turnover.
You know, it looked like he was way too far off the mark there when he cut baseline, but good idea by Christian Stan Hardinger.
Back to an 8-point advantage for the Fuel Masters, 81-73. Azul goes to Banquero there with Wright, Perkins, and Chua. Banquero, good pass to Perkins
cut.
down low, gobbled up by the defense.
Wow.
Great block from Thompson. Mariano unfortunately mishandling the basketball, losing their opportunity on the fast break. Tenorio to Mariano. That's a clear foul on RJ Hazul, jockeying for position against Thompson.
Foul is on number 13, RJ Hazul. Substitution, R.R. Garcia for RJ Hazul.
R.R. Garcia re-enters the ball game for RJ Hazul. Garcia has yet to score in this contest. Again, can Barangay Ginebra find a way to inch closer? Can they bridge the gap with this possession? Tenorio for 3. That's big.
Unbelievable. And again, that could be the start of something for Ginebra.
This is the closest it's been for Barangay Ginebra, and that is an offensive foul whistled against Jake Pascual.
You know, every turnover or every error that Phoenix makes is so devastating in this part of the game. Let's take a look at this three-point shot by LA Tenorio. Always dangerous, doesn't matter what his scoring output is at any point of the game.
Only a 5-point lead now for Phoenix. This time out is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. We have a triple header this coming Friday. Northport versus Magnolia, SMB versus Phoenix Super LPG, and Barangay Ginebra versus the Alaska Aces. Those are your games on Friday, September 17. Of course, you can catch all the PBA action on PBA Rush. As we thank you once again for joining us. Carlo Pamintuan and Ali Peak on the call. Barangay Ginebra starting to make their move against the Fuel Masters here in the fourth quarter. LA Tenorio draws a foul from Banquero, as that will be the 14th foul of the Fuel Masters.
14 fouls for Phoenix. 14 seconds on the shot.
Being in penalty was something that Phoenix paid for dearly in the second quarter. They do not want to find themselves in that same situation here in the fourth, especially come winning time. Tenorio to Mariano for 3. That's good!
This is the closest that Ginebra has been in the entire game, with 7:24 left in this fourth quarter.
Phoenix had so many opportunities to
they
build
did.
their lead, but they rushed their offense, and now they're in a dogfight against Barangay Ginebra. Pushing foul called against Jared Dillinger.
The old saying is, when you're playing a team like Ginebra, you never want to keep it close. We take a look at this execution here by Aljan Mariano being able to knock down a three-point shot.
The referee saying that Jared Dillinger pushed Matthew Wright into LA Tenorio. Question now is, who will step up and make big buckets for Phoenix Super LPG? And they go to Jason Perkins once again, as he has 28 points in the ball game. Only 6 seconds remaining in the shot clock. Banquero goes to Perkins. He makes his move, draws the foul. That'll be a fresh 14 for the Fuel Masters.
Defense is very active in that sequence there by Barangay Ginebra. The shot clock winding down.
14 seconds to shoot.
Multiple opportunities to get a basket here for Phoenix Super LPG. Can they take advantage? Matthew Wright, counter 3 is an air ball. Anxious moments for sure for Coach Topex Robinson and the rest of the coaching staff, as their lead, which was at 19 at its peak, has dwindled. Thompson with the offensive rebound, the putback, and we're all tied up at 81 apiece.
Unbelievable, but then again, we're not surprised, right, Carlo? Because we know what Ginebra is capable of doing. An 8-0 run for the Ginebra Kings.
All started with that LA Tenorio triple, as as Matthew Wright is blocked by Dillinger. Ball will stay on the side of Phoenix Super LPG.
Basketball is all about momentum and energy and pace. And so far, if you look at the body language, let's take a look at this offensive rebound by Scotty Thompson, converting off of that. No one from Phoenix to box him out.
Perkins gives the ball up to Banquero. Banquero goes behind the back, pull-up jumper, no good. Tenorio with the board, and here we go. Barangay Ginebra will try to take the lead. Their first taste of it since the opening minutes of our first quarter. Tenorio drives, kicks it out to Dillinger, extra pass to Mariano. He inches closer, the lefty layup won't work. Thompson with the offensive rebound, loses it to Mariano. Another chance, Dan Hardinger, and Barangay Ginebra takes the lead.
Got to give credit to Scotty Thompson for keeping that ball alive. Scotty Thompson and Aljan Mariano, the ball fumbled and landed in the hands of Christian Stan Hardinger, who happened to be at the right place at the right time.
10-0 run for Barangay Ginebra, turning an 8-point deficit into a 2-point lead. Right, goes to Banquero. Jumper off the glass, no good. And the offense has dried up for Phoenix, but they will have another chance to score here.
Now you look at the body language of Phoenix, very different in comparison to those first 2.5 quarters. All of a sudden, Ginebra looks like the ones with all the energy in the world. And again, the cleanup. 3 Ginebra white shirts in the paint being active.
Oh, nice pass down low as Matthew Wright ties the ball game once again.
That was from Banquero, right? That was a bullet pass.
83-83 as we are gearing up for what should be an entertaining ending to this matchup. Mariano to Tenorio for 3. Rattles out, that shot was halfway home.
I think both of us held our breaths there, right?
It looked good on the under release.
I mean, this is a playoff game. Let's just call it like it is.
Because if Barangay Ginebra or Phoenix, if they lose this one, it might cost them a playoff spot as you see that nice pass, Banquero to Matthew Wright.
That's a gutsy pass because JD was right there.
83-83, we have a timeout. The title of this contest is Escape the Danger Zone. Why? Because Phoenix is at number 8 and Barangay Ginebra is at number 9. Yes, the defending champions of the Philippine Cup are on the outside looking in, desperately wanting to pick up a victory just to give themselves a better shot at making it into the playoffs.
Well, you see what they've been able to accomplish in this fourth quarter, just clawing and scratching their way back into this ball game. Down by as much as 19 points at one point. Things just looked completely out of whack for Ginebra, but look at them now. The score is tied with 4:38 left in this ball game.
Matthew Wright picks up his dribble. Justin Chua for 3, short.
These shot selections by Phoenix overall in this fourth quarter have been really, really inconsistent, really poor. Not to mention some of the other things, not taking care of the basketball, rushing the shots. I'm going to go back to those types of possessions. Every possession counts, especially when you're playing against. They're still the defending champs. They're still the defending champs.
Tenorio with a nice dish. Dan Hardinger with a reverse. He gets the drop. Even without Japet Aguilar, you have to respect the ability of Barangay Ginebra. What a reverse layup from Matthew Wright.
Very similar to the backdoor play we saw earlier in the ball game by Matthew Wright.
Hang time move coming from Matthew Wright. 2 important baskets to keep Phoenix in this ball game. Tenorio picks up his dribble. Stan Hardinger will try to move against Chua. Christian with a short stab, nothing there. Chua with the board. Opportunity now for the Fuel Masters to retake the lead. As you know, Matthew Wright will have to make big plays here in the end game to help the squad. Wright attacks, loses the ball completely, as that is a turnover.
Well, you see the concern there. Let's take a look at Matthew Wright's acrobatic move here. Christian Stan Hardinger trying to challenge that shot, and Matthew Wright being able to adjust mid-flight.
Stanley Pringle, one-hander off the glass. Lead is back with Barangay Ginebra.
Just back and forth here. It's going to come down to who makes the right decisions defensively, especially offensively.
Banquero, good pass to Perkins. Perkins
Wow,
counters on the other side. 30 big points in the ball game.
that's a nice shot. And, you know, this is bringing back so many memories for me because I love the way the big men are operating, especially off those pick and rolls. Attacking the basket, taking the contact.
Full timeout requested by Barangay Ginebra. San Miguel 87 all. 2 minutes, 34 seconds remaining here in the 4th and final quarter of action. Gusto mo ba ng kakaibang viewing experience sa PBA? Well, register to join the PBA Virtual Fan Experience and become a Bida fan. Dahil dito sa PBA, tayo ang bida. A registration link will be posted a day before each PBA game on PBA, PBA Rush TV5, and One Sports Facebook page. So check those pages out so you can become a virtual fan in the PBA. Jason Perkins doing the heavy lifting throughout this ball game for Phoenix Super LPG. 30 points, one away from his career high, and they will need even more from him in the final 2 minutes, 34 seconds of the 4th quarter to emerge victorious against Barangay Ginebra.
And they're going to have to make really good decisions down this stretch with less than 3 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. Both teams, for that matter.
Tenorio with a nice pass. Thompson draws the foul. Unfortunately for him, he did not force up that shot, which would have led to 2 free throws. So this would be a sideline throw-in for Barangay Ginebra.
Looked like he was looking for Christian Stan Hardinger.
He was. But when he felt the contact, he could have tried to go for the shot instead. Still an opportunity here for Barangay Ginebra. Tenorio using the Stan Hardinger screen. Kicks it out to Mariano. LA with 4 to shoot. Tenorio to Stan Hardinger. The jumper, no good. Rebound goes to Thompson.
Wow.
Perkins was so busy trying to box out Mariano, and no one managed to stay in front of Thompson. Extra possession for Barangay Ginebra.
That was RJ Hazul's assignment.
Pringle versus Banquero one-on-one. Help comes, doesn't matter. Pringle with a big shot down low.
Beautiful move by Stanley Pringle. Had Chris Banquero thinking that he was going to put his head down and drive again, but this time he just popped back up with the shot.
Thompson defending right. 10 seconds remaining in the shot clock for Phoenix Super LPG. That is a foul drawn by Wright And that will bring Barangay Ginebra into the penalty situation, just like Phoenix. Look at this move once again. Just elevating enough over the outstretched arm of Jason Perkins. Stand the man with a big shot. Perkins looking for movement. Banquero has it now. Matthew Wright with a drop pass. A reverse layup is blocked coming from Chua. Now an opportunity, a golden opportunity for Barangay Ginebra to add on to this 2-point lead. They fake the handoff. Stan Hardinger gives it back to Tenorio. Gets it right back. Stan Hardinger was stopped there by Chua, as these two have been going at it all game long.
They've been going at it. Actually, good defensive play here by Justin Chua. That's clean. Just a little extra mustard after that block shot.
Wanted a better look at Christian Stan Hardinger from the ground, I think. You love it. You love the gamesmanship between these two.
I didn't expect that. I really didn't. But, you know, hey, I understand.
I think the referees are still taking another look at it. Ball will stay with Barangay Ginebra, but only 5.5 remaining in the shot clock. Scotty Thompson will trigger the play inbound. Thompson studying, asking for a timeout. Great switching on defense for Phoenix to deny that entry pass, as Barangay Ginebra will burn this 30-second timeout. 5.5, still a lot of time remaining for Barangay Ginebra in this particular play.
Well, the good thing is that they have a 2-point lead that they can protect here. You know, if you're Phoenix, the next couple of possessions are very, very crucial here. But, you know, I want to go back to some of the carelessness of Phoenix in terms of, you know, how they were taking care of the basketball, and their shot selections really come back to haunt them in this fourth quarter.
So if Barangay Ginebra completes this comeback, they will go to 4-5 for a tie for the number 7 and number 8 spot. Phoenix will drop down to number 9, and their final assignment will be a tough one against the San Miguel Beermen. But if Phoenix finds a way to overcome Barangay Ginebra, they will inch to the number 6 spot. And a playoff spot would be a possibility for them.
Bottom line, you just have to win.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yep. A game with deep playoff repercussions. Here we go. Oh, good pass. Pringle, the jumper. Too strong off the glass. That ball will stay with Barangay Ginebra. Again, who was there right in the middle of it?
Scotty Thompson. If, you know, if I'm the coaching staff, I would be screaming right now, saying, can someone please box this man out? You know, getting a body on someone like that is just not good enough. You gotta, you have to physically take him out of the equation. What I used to do, if someone was good at that, I would just take him and I would push him out of bounds underneath the goal, so I don't have to deal with him, and he has no chance of running back in to try to go for the rebound.
Almost a face guard. Let someone else grab a rebound.
Exactly.
Full attention on Thompson.
I would push him way out of bounds. I'd push him towards the fans. I'm not even kidding about that.
Extra possession here brought about by the effort of Thompson. That ball bouncing off of the leg of Chris Banquero. 70 seconds remaining in this ball game. 2-point advantage for Barangay Ginebra. Tenorio gets the ball from Stan Hardinger. LA against Wright. He goes under the screen. Tenorio for 3. That's good!
There you have it. Is that 6? That's 6 3-point shots, right?
6 of 11 from downtown for LA Tenorio. All his field goals have been triples in this ball game.
You know, I had a feeling that this was going to happen. This possession here. it was the perfect time for it. And again, LA Tenorio could be quiet for 3 quarters and then bury you.
Like, how smart is that? He tested the defense of Matthew Wright. He went under, the screen adjusted, Wright went under again, and LA Tenorio made him pay.
It's almost like a cat and mouse type thing. It's just sort of toying with them. You know, and again, you know, the details, the tiny details, the little things have been what haunted Phoenix in this 4th quarter. You know, this is a learning process here for the young players of this Phoenix squad.
Because Ali, sometimes with ball screens in the defense, when the ball screen is still so far from the 3-point range, the big man will tell you to go under.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on the game plan now. You know, now, I don't know if that's something that Coach Topex Robinson told Matthew Wright to do. You know, in this case scenario, you want to fight over the pick, you know, and let your big man show. But again, you know, it's really up to what the coaching staff of Phoenix wants. But nonetheless, LA Tenorio read that screen very, very well. Kind of toyed with it. Very crafty.
The first under was certainly acceptable because it was still too far from the 3-point range. But the second one, with LA Tenorio reading it perfectly, as he makes the defense pay. 5-point advantage now for Barangay Ginebra. Quick inbound to Justin Chua. They're looking for Matthew Wright or Perkins. Straightaway 3, nothing there. Won't get the bounce. And that ball will bounce out and in favor of Barangay Ginebra.
They've gone cold the last 5 minutes of this 4th quarter.
But this is not yet a safe lead with 52 seconds remaining. Justin Chua tapping it out of bounds. Clearly, no one from Barangay Ginebra getting a hand on the ball before it sailed out.
After the review, ball possession goes to Ginebra.
92 to 87. Fuel Masters led by as many as 19 points in the first quarter. Now hanging on to this 5-point lead. Phoenix does not need to foul just yet. Still enough time to try and get back into this matchup by forcing stops. Tenorio finds a crease in the defense, but pulls out. LA with a nice dish. Pringle down low. Gives it to Stan Hardinger. Jumper for Stan. The man is good. 7-point lead for Barangay Ginebra.
Good patience, and it was all initiated by LA Tenorio. That is a big shot for Stanley Pringle, but I like the extra passes made by Christian Stan Hardinger.
Amazing effort coming from this Barangay Ginebra squad without Japet Aguilar. They just found a way to stick to Phoenix when they were trying to break away, and then just needed one big run here in the 4th quarter to turn this ball game around.
You know, I will say, you know, I'm going to say it again, these guys are still the defending champions. They know how to win in crucial situations. They're showing it right now.
LA Tenorio with 23 points in the ball game, 6 triples. Stanley Pringle with 31 big points, 7 rebounds in total. Christian Stan Hardinger, 21 points, 11 rebounds. Christian has played 43 minutes. Tenorio 39, Pringle 33, Thompson 32. Coach Tim Cone had really no other choice but to rely heavily on those 4.
At all. So it was a big challenge to overcome tonight. And so far, they're passing the test. This is an incredible comeback and you see those numbers there, as you mentioned. Stanley Pringle, 31 points. You know, even as bad as things are in the conference in comparison to last year for Barangay Ginebra, they still know how to win. They still know how to put good possessions together. You know, in the experience. If you were to compare both of these teams' experience, playoff-wise, you'd have to go with Ginebra.
Oh, poor inbound there. That's a turnover. And Phoenix will have to give up a foul here. Looks like they won't give up a foul, as Barangay Ginebra will happily waste the seconds away from this clock. as Stanley Pringle flips it up and misses. Phoenix gets a stop, but they're down by 7 points.
That's pretty much it.
Unfortunate ending to what was a hot start for the Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters as Barangay Ginebra complete the comeback as they emerge victorious 94-87 as their playoff bid will stay alive.
You know, you just stay in it and you keep operating. And I'm sure that was the message by Coach Tim Cohn every time they would have their huddles. And, you know, that's exactly what they did. They were able to execute and find that flow, making the proper stops, making the best possessions. And sure enough, their main guy stepped up, including this person right here, Stanley Pringle.
Our next level player of the game is Stanley Pringle, 31 points, 7 rebounds, 12 of 21 from the field. And it is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Ali, the defense of Barangay Ginebra, which looked porous in the first quarter, allowing 33 points for Phoenix, allowed just 11 points in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, definitely. And those were some of the adjustments that Coach Tim Cohn made. But I think the biggest message out of all of this was, hey, guys, you need to step up.
As we now check out our updated team standings to better appreciate what that win did for Barangay Ginebra, they now rise to the number 8 spot, tied with the NLEX Road Warriors. Phoenix falling out of the playoff picture just about now, but they will still have one more game to play against the San Miguel Beermen. All sorts of things can happen with even the Alaska Aces and the Terra Firma Jeep with enough games to try and make a playoff push, even if they're on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go back to Ginebra, okay, because of this big win for them. And, you know, look, you make the playoffs. As bad as things were in the elimination round, get into the playoffs and then figure out your chances there.
And especially if Japet Aguilar will be good enough to bounce back, as we are now with our best player of the ball game,
Stanley Pringle and Coach Tim Cohn. Congratulations, Stan.
Thank you.
Stan,
Yes.
you led the game today in points and your energy seemed to have rubbed off to your teammates. What did you talk about before this game that inspired you to play hard and perform well?
Just today, we just all decided to stay positive. We had a great practice yesterday. Everybody was cheering for each other. We stayed together as a team, and we all know that this conference it's been a roller coaster with everything going on. And the best thing we could do is just stay together as a team, keep our composure, and regardless of what happens, we always gonna have each other back. So that's our main focus.
Okay, Stan, now I turn you over to our press friends for their questions. First up, Mr. Bong Lozada.
Yes.
Congratulations, Stan.
Thank you.
Stan, can you describe the sense of urgency your team has right now? Because, as you said, this conference has been a struggle for you.
Well, like I said, every game it's been a different game. We've been through a whole lot. Just with the situation what's going on with with the conference and just with the situation outside of basketball. So we just staying together as a team. We definitely a sense of urgency, but regardless of our situation, we're always gonna have each other's back, and that's what thing we need to keep as a team is just staying together, keeping our composure, and staying positive. Most importantly.
Thanks, Stan. Congrats.
Thank you.
Up next is Mr. Ruben Terrado.
Stan,
Who's that?
congratulations. Yeah, Stan.
Okay.
LA struggled last time up, but he bounced back in a big way tonight. How huge was that for your team?
Oh man, it's huge. He's a captain. He's a veteran one that gives us all advice. So everybody's gonna struggle. I've been struggling. He's been. Everybody has their times. Like I said, it's a team game. We got. Oh my God. We just gonna. Oh my gosh. Chill, bro. We just gonna keep, man. Like I said, they showing support now. We gonna keep supporting each other. It doesn't matter. This is just a team. We're one team. Thank you.
Thank you, Stan.
Again, Mr. Bong Lozada.
Okay na po ako. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Coach Tim?
Oh, still. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, Coach.
Hi, yeah, thank you. It was a great comeback game. You know, it was a game that our fans would have really loved. And that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about when we were coming back in the game, I was thinking, wow, imagine what the fans would be doing right now. They'd be roaring. And this is a typical Ginebra game. We battled and we came back and found a way to win. But, we really missed the fans. I really missed the fans. And gee, I wish they were here. But but for us, it was a big game. We needed that, obviously, to not just to be moving up in the standings, but to create something positive, have a positive feeling around the team. This is a tough situation. When you start to lose, everything starts to weigh on you. Your little hotel room, all the restrictions, no family to talk to or be around, no comfortable bed at your own house. All those things start to bother you when you're losing. When you're winning, it's okay. But when you're losing, it's hard. So it's really easy to spiral downward and dig a hole when you're losing here. Much more than if it was a regular conference back in Manila. So these are the things that we're trying to battle. This journey has been so different from our last journey of the bubble. In the last journey, we won our first 4 games. We had only a couple of hiccups along the way, and we swept into a championship. I think we won the championship 3-1 or something like that. And so this journey has been so incredibly different and so much harder. But it doesn't mean we can't have the same result. We're still battling for that same result. We're still battling for a championship. I know we're down in the standings, but these guys, I think about midway or late first quarter or early second quarter, I think there was a real opportunity for our players to say, no mas. Let's move on. Let's go home. Let's go back to Manila. We're not going to do well this bubble. But they didn't. They kept fighting. I want to say the never say die attitude, came out. I don't like to own that because that's not mine. That's Sonny Jaworski's. So, but still, it's a never say die, and I thought that we really showed that tonight, and I'm proud of our guys. And now we got to see if we can turn around and do it again. And we did it despite the absence of Japeth, so that even made it that much sweeter.
Coach, can you talk about Japeth's injury?
Well, he has a MCL strain. It's not or maybe a sprain. It's like a sprained ankle, but it's with the knee. And the good news is he had no tears on the MCL. So it's really a sprain, and that can take up to 2 to 3 weeks of repair to get back. So, we're so short in here, 2 to 3 weeks is almost like the whole conference. So I don't know when he'll be back at this point. It's kind of day to day, but we're hoping he can get back at some point. It really depends on how strong his knee feels. It's like a sprained ankle. If you can play in the sprained ankle, but it's very, very painful, it's swollen, it's hard to jump. Same thing with his knee, with the MCL.
Thank you, Coach.
The first quarter of action started blazing hot for Phoenix Super LPG, led by Jason Perkins, who has had a conference for himself. It just looked good. Everything fell for Phoenix in that opening 12 minutes.
Well, everything was firing on all cylinders for Phoenix. Everybody you could see was playing with a sense of urgency. Everyone looked excited, enthused, both ends of the court. But, pretty rough for Barangay Ginebra, just trying to figure out their offense, trying to get into a good flow. We saw some really good highlights. Matthew Wright with the acrobatic reverse over Christian Stan Hardinger. And then, of course, another look at it, this time from this angle. First quarter, Phoenix taking that lead 33-16 over Barangay Ginebra.
But in the second quarter, LA Tenorio started to feel like himself again, creating for Christian Sanhardinger. That was after making a couple of three-point shots, and he will not stop until Barangay Ginebra was back in the ball game. Jason Perkins continued his stellar play in the second quarter as he did enough along with his teammates to keep Barangay Ginebra at bay, even with big three-point conversions coming from Stanley Pringle.
And I think that was key. Just you know, keep the offense going, keep attacking, keep the lead close. But you know, answered right back by RJ Hazul. But guess what? Before the half, a big shot by Scotty Thompson. And I think you were correct about that, Carlo. They went back into the locker room with a lot of positive vibes. And then, of course, getting into the second half, things really start to go Ginebra's way.
It was a 30-19 second quarter for Barangay Ginebra. Perkins still dominated with his scoring, but Barangay Ginebra just had an extra bounce to their step. LA Tenorio with a tough shot over the defense of Garcia.
Every possession, especially down the stretch of the third quarter and into the fourth quarter, Ginebra's offense really started to gain lots and lots of confidence. We did see some tough shots, big shots by Jason Perkins to, you know, keep Ginebra's attack at bay. And we take a look at this power move here by Christian Sanhardinger, attack towards the middle, drawing his defender, and then getting to the free throw line.
But as we said, the lead bounced at 6 and 7, and then all of a sudden Phoenix will rebuild an 11-point advantage. But when Barangay Ginebra went on a big run, a big 10-0 run, they were able to take the lead, and after that it was just an exchange of big baskets from one team to another.
I think what hurt Phoenix was the possessions down the stretch, you know, not taking good care of the basketball, poor shot selection, all came back to haunt them in the end, especially with big shots like this one by LA Tenorio, another three-point shot.
That's just a prime-time move coming from the veteran LA Tenorio, a big triple. And then the unselfishness coming from the three main scorers of Barangay Ginebra, Tenorio, Sanhardinger, Pringle, all chipping in to make that play happen. And it was the dagger. It would be the last nail in the coffin for Phoenix Super LPG in this ball game as Barangay Ginebra wins it 94-87. We will have more basketball for you tomorrow live on PBA Rush. It will be Terra Firma Jeep against the returning Meralco Bolts, Blackwater Bossing, and the NLEX Road Warriors will engage for our second game. That'll be it for your proceedings for your doubleheader in your PBA Wednesday for Ali Peak. My name is Carlo Pamentuan. We'll see you again tomorrow for more of your Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021.